Together with Earle Sports Bets, yeah, the twins, they be checking in. Stacking up green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah,
have been live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. Just me today. Tim's still under the weather, so it'll just be me. But we have 8 games in the NBA. We have 5 in the NHL, so shouldn't be that long of a show. Quick recap of yesterday. Slight down day. Had a decent amount of plays yesterday, and just slightly down. It is what it is. College basketball. Georgia minus 105 gets the job done. Southern Miss minus 3 was a push. Ball State plus 3.5. They lose by 2. So that cashes there. Memphis minus 8.5 is not. They only win by 5. And then Temple plus 2.5. They win outright. That was nice there. Auburn minus 4.5 was a loser. They lose outright there. Florida State plus 4.5. They get the job done. They lose by 3. Boise State minus 15.5. They blow out Air Force by 23. So a winner there. NBA was a struggle yesterday. Won my first play in the NBA. The Magic first half lost the full game. So the double up ended up splitting out. Whatever. Would have been better doubling up than it was if I would have just played normal, because that would have been the full game and I would have lost. Then after that was the Bucks winning by 6 when I had 6.5. The Knicks lost outright, which was annoying there, and the Brooklyn Nets got blown out. So a rough night in the NBA, not as much of a rough night in the NHL. Tampa minus 1 was a winner. Nashville moneyline plus 110 was a nice winner there. Double loser on the Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg minus 1. Winnipeg team total over. I'm genuinely confused about what the Islanders are right now. Because it feels like one night they're ready to sell, the next night they're ready to buy, and I'm confused on what Lou is going to do at the deadline now. The Devils, they were tied with less than 10 seconds left. The Stars scored with I believe 5 seconds remaining in the game to take the lead, so that was kind of frustrating there. Colorado first period puck line was a loser, but the full game puck line got the job done. A 4-1 victory for the Colorado Avalanche. The Ducks plus 2. They went outright. 6-2 over Edmonton. Did not expect them to win that game outright. So, but thought that line was too wide and thought the plus 2 was worth the shot. So overall, down 0.68 units yesterday. Haven't moved on anything yet today. I will be grabbing my, my college basketball plays in a minute. After the show, I'll be punching those in, and then yeah. So we'll get into the chat, and then we will get into today's card. Brock Nelson's last game as an Islander. If Lou Lamoriello does his job correctly, it should be. Same should be said with Kyle Palmieri, potentially Anders Lee, JG Pageau. Definitely, if he does his job correctly, then yeah. What's good, Markel? We'll see what you did, Robert. Yeah. It was just technical difficulties. Supness. What's good, Lex? What's good, Lex? What's good, ISX? Technical supness. Yeah. What's good, Nicholas Handy? It's the Russians. Sure, it is. As always. Yeah. Free for all, anything goes, which means I can say this. Okay. Wrong, the Canadians. What a show. It's been a great show, right? Yeah. How about them Blues yesterday? Or Blues today. They get who did they get today? They get a matchup against the Kings. Interesting. We'll definitely be looking at that game. Obviously, I'm goofing, just in case. What the color of water? Yeah, the ocean. I screwed up. Never mind. Blues. Yeah. Sure, confused. I am. Yeah. Actually, I'm not confused. They're a fringe playoff team at best that'll get bounced in 5 or less games in the playoffs. That's what they are. Yeah. Wizards or Utah. I mean, Wizards being a favorite in that game is kind of telling. It's just whether or not you want to lay 4.5 with them. Bruins are trash. Yes, they are. That's why I keep fading them. I've faded them. Or I didn't last over the weekend on Saturday, Sunday because I wasn't betting anything. But Since the Four Nations break, I'm 3-0-1 or 4-0-1, fading the Bruins. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. I was on Nashville yesterday, so that was nice to see there. Let's get into today's card, and we're going to kick it on off with the marquee matchup of the day. We have the Utah Jazz taking on the Washington Wizards. We have the Wizards 4.5-point favorites with a total of 230 in this game. As I have my line history site loading up, it wants to restart itself, and same with my. I think this is I can't remember the last time the Wizards were favored in a basketball game. It's been a hot minute. I want to take a look at that when all my stuff is loading up. When the last time the Wizards were a favorite in a basketball game, because that is a genuine question for me, because it has been a minute. It's having me log in to Action Network now too, which is fun. There. But let's take a look. Dog. When was the last? Have they been favored at all this year? I feel like they were in the beginning of the year. Nope. This is the first time that the Washington Wizards are favorites this year. Their smallest dog was a 4-point dog. Really? Is that it? Is that the smallest number we've gotten for Washington this year? Is a 4? And now they're laying 4.5. That's kind of crazy. There. We have 45% of tickets, 47% of the cash is on the Wizards. We have 81% of tickets, 77% of the cash on the over here as well. As I'm trying to get the line history to load here, that would be cool. So we can see what type of line movement we have for this matchup here. There we go. Nope, this is hockey. I do not need hockey. I need NBA. So cool. Let's have that load there. Washington coming in off of a 16-point loss in their last game to the Miami Heat, which they had won 2 of the previous 3 before that against Charlotte and against Brooklyn. On the flip side, the Utah Jazz have lost back-to-back games, both at home. They do hit the road after an 8-game homestand. They have not played a road game since February the 10th, so almost a month since Utah has played a road game, which is interesting there. Let's take a look at the line history now that's finally loaded. Open up 4.5, got up to a 5, back to a 4.5. This is Wizards or no bet for me. And I know that sounds crazy with them being a favorite, but I think that they are a favorite for a reason. I would only look Wizards in this game. The only thing is I wanted them in a money line range in this game because I do think the Wizards win. Asking them to win by 5+, a team that has won 11 games all year out of 60, that's really difficult to do. But for me, this is Wizards or no bet, which is going to end up probably just being a no bet. I feel like we haven't utilized this button in a while, so this is definitely a...
Stop it. Get some help.
1-800-GAMBLER game of the day. It's a rebuilding year. Fair. LOL. Jazz plus 165. I mean, if you're going to fade the Wizards, I mean, I won't talk you off of fading the Wizards as a favorite. That's just, for me, it's just not something I'm particularly interested to do is back the Utah Jazz, which the Utah Jazz on the road are 7-22 this year. So this is a terrible thing there. They weren't they favorites versus the Nets? Were they? On February 24th, cover says they were 2.5-point dogs. So, oh well, never mind. Yeah. So Wizards. I mean, yeah, it's got to be Wizards or nothing. That means go for Utah, but then again, yeah, I can definitely see that. Wizards minus 4.5. Baseball is almost up. Yeah. We doing a contest, right? Probably. And I want to discuss with Tim. I think instead of doing money, because not enough people really signed up for that, it might be the giveaway might just be a T-shirt, an ESB T-shirt potentially. I'm going to talk that over with Tim and everything, but I have a feeling if we do a contest, it'll be more for a T-shirt than it would for money and stuff like that. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know. But yeah, because we do have, I want to say it's in the description below, our merch shop. So it would be a T-shirt from the merch shop potentially. We'll move on though. Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat. The Cavaliers 10.5-point favorites in this game. Total of 225.5. Line opened up at 11. It's down to a 10.5. So we do have a half-point line moving here towards the Heat. Line opened up 226. It's now 225.5. The Cavaliers are coming in on 10 straight wins. I feel like it's more than that. They're 51-10 this year. And they have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 games in a row. Very impressive there for the Cavaliers. And they've covered in they're 7-2-1 in the last 10 for that as well. We have the Miami Heat coming in off of a win in their last game, 106-90. It was against the Washington Wizards, though, so take that with a grain of salt. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game with the line slightly moving towards the Heat. We have 73% tickets, 71% of the cash is on the Cavaliers. I'm interested in the Heat in this game getting all the points. This is the third game in 4 nights for the Miami Heat. It's the same thing though for the Chicago Bulls. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, who played the Chicago Bulls last night in Chicago, traveled back to Cleveland, which isn't a far travel. But it's a third game in 4 nights, and it's a second half of a back-to-back for them compared to a third game in 4 nights with a day off for the Miami Heat. I think the Heat are the play in this game, and if I can still get 10.5, 11 range, I'm interested in Miami in this game where you can get plus 10.5, minus 110 over on Bet365. I'm going to go ahead and grab that here. Miami to get my card started in the NBA. Miami plus 10.5, minus 110. I just think it's a bad spot for the Cavs. But yeah, I think it's not the greatest spot for the Cavs to be laying 10.5 points. So I don't mind it. Cavs smash. Miami lean. Pass though. Yeah. And when it comes to the contest, I kind of want to find a way for you guys to submit plays in a spot. I don't know how to do that yet. It might be a Google not like a Google survey thing maybe where I can put it in the chat and we get people filling it out that way. I'm not 100% sure yet. But yeah. We'll move on, though. Minnesota Timberwolves and the Charlotte Hornets. T-Wolves, 9-point favorites, total 223 in this game. Line opened up at an 8.5. It's now a 9. So we do have a move towards the Minnesota Timberwolves. Line opened up 222. It's now 223. Wow. Oh, wait, wrong game. I was going to say, wow, that the market moved, but no, it's a different game. Yeah, we have 81% of tickets and 70% of cash on the Timberwolves. The line's moving towards them, so that checks out there. And then we have 83% of tickets and 78% of cash on the over in this game as well. Taking a look at this matchup here, we have the Timberwolves on the second half of a back-to-back. They played the 76ers last night. So definitely some stiff competition for the T-Wolves the last couple of games. With now Charlotte tonight and Philadelphia last night, where they won by 14 as 13-point favorites. They've now won back-to-back games, the Minnesota Timberwolves against Phoenix and Philadelphia, which snapped a 2-game losing streak against Utah and LA. Charlotte's fallen apart. They've gotten blown out and not really competitive in many of their games. They're coming in off of a loss and a no cover as 12.5-point dogs against the Warriors. They have lost 7 games in a row. They've covered in 2 of them. One of them, they were an 18-point dog, though. So it's kind of tough to not cover as 18-point dogs. And for me, it's T-Wolves or no bet. I mean, I have no interest in the Hornets that are actively tanking right now and look horrible and are getting obliterated in games. But do I want to lay this type of number on the road in the second half of a back-to-back for the Minnesota Timberwolves? The answer is no. So it's an easy pass for me in this game. No interest in this one whatsoever. That would be smart and less work for you. Yeah. But yeah. I would be down for a baseball daily pick contest. All right. Morning, Nick. What's good, Brad? Contests do make the chat more active and gets us all involved for competition. Yeah. You guys could still put your place in the chat, but in order to make them official, I would probably have you put them in a separate location. But you guys would still be able to put place in the chat and still be able to shit talk and stuff like that. With things like that, I need to sit down and figure out how the best, most efficient way to do it would be. Wolves smash or over 223. Yeah, I would lean towards the Wolves. Wolves team total over, Minnesota team total over. I could see that as well. I could see a blowout win for Minnesota. I feel like T-Wolves play down to competition. Could, yeah. Wolves -9. Nick, are you getting into NBA? We are literally talking about NBA. Yeah. Coyote saying I can't wait to beat 446 once again. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be funny. I would love to shit talk. Yeah. Hello. Looking forward to the draft. Sabres will be getting a good pick. What? No more Sabres money line? Real deal prime? Oh man, that's unfortunate. You've given up on the Sabres, so that means they're bet on now. All right, cool. Portland Trailblazers and Boston Celtics, your next matchup here. The Celtics 10-point favorites, total of 225. We do have a line movement here towards these Blazers. Line opened up at an 11.5. It's now down to a 10. So we do have a move towards the Portland Trailblazers in this game, which is interesting. Line opened up 228.5. It's now 225. So we do have a move towards the under here as well. 67% of tickets, 61% of cash is on Boston. The line's moving towards Portland, which does make me interested in Portland a little bit in this game. 92% of tickets, 94% of cash on the over here as well. We have Portland coming in off of a win. Is this their last? No, they have one more game on the road, and that is on March the 7th. They play Oklahoma City. So there is that. They've been a little bit of a covering machine as of late. The Portland Trailblazers. They are 5-1 straight up and ATS in their last 6 games. So they have been playing better as of late after going through a little bit of a struggle. It's almost like the All-Star break did favors for them since the All-Star break. 5-2 straight up and ATS. Boston, they're coming in off a win and a cover against the Denver Nuggets. They were 5.5-point favorites and won by 7. Which snapped a 2-game losing streak for the Boston Celtics there. So it would be Portland or no bet for me in this game if I'm looking at a spot in this one, which I'm kind of interested in the double digits here with Portland. They have been covering as of late. The market likes them. Everything's kind of correlating. So I'm actually going to move on them here, and I can get a 10 still on Bet365. So we're starting off with 2 double-digit dogs for me. Portland +10, -110 for me in this game, taking a shot that Portland keeps it close against the Celtics. So Portland +10 for me here. Let's see. Yeah, LOL. Sabres always looking for the draft. Yep. Blazers +10. Yes, I am on the Blazers +10 now. At Real Deal Prime. Nick is right. Now Sabres start winning, giving you hope, then yank it away at the last second, ruining a good draft pick. Yeah. 14 damn years. Yeah. Any thoughts on the Rockets game for tonight? We'll be talking the Rockets don't play tonight. The Rockets don't play tonight. Unless I missed something, the Rockets do not play tonight. Unless I completely did not type up a game. No, Houston does not play tonight. Blazers, yep. Portland +10 and Boston team total over. So the over. So that would just be the over. probably a better way to go at it. Real deal prime, yeah. We'll continue on. Another double-digit dog here. The Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Dallas Mavericks. Bucks 10-point favorites, total 222.5. Line opened up at a 9.5, went immediately to a 10, up to a 10.5, up to 11, back down to a 10. Line opened up to 25.5, down to a 222.5. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here, where we have 87% of the tickets and 86% of the cash is on the Milwaukee Bucks, and the line's really not moving. Tells me that Dallas could be a little bit of a live dog in this game. For the total, 92% of tickets, 91% of the cash is on the over here in this spot. Am I really going to go with a third double-digit dog here? Because I think there's some value on some of these dogs today. Dallas has kind of been struggling, and I believe this is Dallas's first game without Kyrie Irving. Yep, it's their first game without Kyrie Irving. They were just embarrassed in their last game, 122-98. I expect players to step up. These two teams just played each other. It was a 15-point win for the Milwaukee Bucks in Dallas. So we get a little short-term revenge spot as well. Everything's actually starting to correlate here for a Dallas Maverick play. And yes, I know they're dealing with injuries. But when you look at the Milwaukee side in this game, it's the second half of a back-to-back for them as well. They were in Atlanta last night. They head back to Milwaukee tonight. So a little bit of travel here. Dallas, they had yesterday off after the win against Sacramento, or after the beatdown against Sacramento. So they got to sit with that a little bit there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add another double-digit dog to my card. Dallas plus 10.5 at -110 against Milwaukee. I think this is too many points for the Bucks to be laying. And yes, I get it. This Dallas team is tough to trust right now. But everything's kind of correlating for me. A little short-term revenge spot as well. And you're also coming in off of a bad loss. Markets, public's all over Milwaukee in this game. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shot here with the Dallas Mavericks plus the 10.5 -110. Yes, they are. No, sorry, you're right. They're not playing today. They're playing tomorrow. Got it. Then we will look at them tomorrow. Bucks smash. Actually, I would go for the money line on the Mavs. Yeah. Mavs, first game without Kyrie. Who else does Dallas have? That's a great point. But it's the angle that I use a lot, and it's the first game without the star player. So Mavs team total over 105.5. Team total under. So yeah, I think they can put up enough to cover in this game. So we'll move on, though. The Denver Nuggets taking on the Sacramento Kings. The Nuggets are 5.5-point favorites, total 236 in this game. We're starting to see some sixes out there. Wow, this line opened all the way up at a 9 and immediately went down to an 8, down to a 7.5, down to a 6.5, down to a 6, down to a 5.5. So it's been a nonstop line move here towards the Kings in this game. Maybe it's a little bit of an overreaction from their last game, but maybe not. We have this line opening up at a 237.5. It's down to a 236. So we have a move towards the under here as well. We have 73% of tickets, 73% of cash on the Nuggets. How much of that money though is on the 5.5 rather than the 7.5, the 8, the 9? There's that. Wow, Jose Iglesias signs with the Padres. It's officially over. Wow. But yeah. No action for me in this game. None at all. A simple pass here for me. Kings money line. At this point, I would lay off. I think if you like the Kings, you've missed your line. But we'll move on. Oklahoma City Thunder, 9-point road favorites against the Memphis Grizzlies. Total 250.5. Let's take a look at the line history in this game here. Where it opened up 8.5, it's down 9 for the Thunder. So we do have a half-point line movement towards OKC. Line opened up 246.5, it's now 250.5. So move towards the over here as well. 60% of tickets, 58% of the cash is on the over. 70% of the tickets, 71% of the cash is on the Thunder in this game as well. We have the Thunder coming in playing okay. I mean, they've not okay. They've won 4 in a row. They've only covered 2 of them though. They did not cover as 17-point favorites against Brooklyn. They didn't cover as 14-point favorites against Houston. So do with that as you please. It's the 3rd game in 4 nights for them, where they were in San Antonio, then they were at home against Houston, and then now they're on the road in Memphis. This is a Memphis team on 3 straight losses. So seeing 9.5 with them kind of is a little bit interesting there. Maybe buy a little low on the Memphis Grizzlies here. For me, not a game I'm particularly interested in. I don't like fading OKC. I feel like this could be a nice little spot here for Memphis for a little buy low if you're looking to get involved in this game. I would look towards dog or pass in this game, but another pass here for me. Not enough for me to want to be interested in this game at all. Who moves into the play-in spot now that that Dallas is without Kyrie? Is it Phoenix? Let me take a look at what the standings look like here. Dallas is currently in that 10 seed. It could be Phoenix. It wouldn't shock me to see Dallas hold them off. It's a 3-game lead for them. And how many games are left in the regular season here? They play 81 in the NBA. And so it looks like 20 games remaining in the season. 19 to 20 games remaining in the season. It's a 3-game lead. Wouldn't shock me to see Dallas hold on to that last spot because I still don't trust Phoenix. And ask Phoenix to be 3 games better than Dallas in the last 19 to 20 games, I think is still asking a little much here. But yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know right now. But if you want, I want to see what the odds are for Dallas to miss the play-ins. What would it be for Dallas to miss the play-ins? Team futures, wins plus playoffs to participate in play-in. The Mavs are still minus 390 to participate in the play-in. You can get the Suns at plus 250. Let me take a look at the standings again. If you think that the Suns take their spot there, wouldn't shock me there. Portland's 13-1. They're 4 games behind. They're 4 games behind Dallas for that spot, but Portland's 13-1 if you want to take a shot with that, and then all the other teams are above them. Which Golden State is plus 185 to play in the play-ins, meaning Minnesota passes them or Sacramento passes them. So that could be a look as well. But I'm not looking at any futures like that though. If I'm pulling the trigger on anything, it'd be Portland at 13-1 to take the spot, just because the risk reward I think is more there. Nick, any pass for the Astros? No, no. I'm not betting preseason baseball right now. Or Portland. Yes, Portland 13-1 looks interesting. Grizzlies money line, maybe. Notre Dame money line, since it's Ash Wednesday. Your thoughts? I do not care about Ash Wednesday or anything like that. That factored into my cap 0% of it. My number for that game is Notre Dame minus 0.5. So at plus 1.5, it's a slight lean towards Notre Dame, but I do not care. Honestly, it doesn't impact my capping. That's what I meant. Does not impact my capping. We'll move on. Final game of the day for the NBA. Then we have 5 in the NHL. The Detroit Pistons and the LA Clippers. We have the Pistons 4.5-point road favorites with a total of 219.5. Line opened up at a 2.5. It's now a 4.5. So we do have a decent move towards Detroit in this one here. Line opened up 219. It's now 219.5. So we have a move towards the over here as well. 71% of tickets and 69% of the cash is on the Pistons in this game. The line is moving towards them at the very least. 91% of tickets, 90% of the cash is coming in on the over here as well. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done as of late. The Pistons are arguably the hottest team in basketball. They've won back-to-back games in 9 of the last 10. as they are coming in off of a 134-106 win as 10.5-point road favorites against Utah. On the flip side, the Clippers are slowly starting to slip. They've lost 3 in a row and 6 of 7. They have played the last 8 games away from home. They are finally back at the Intuit Dome there in LA. Not a game I'm getting involved with here. We still have the Clippers missing some players. Leonard's out. Powell is out. Simmons is day-to-day. So not anything I'm particularly interested in. Just the 3 plays, the 3 dogs for me in the NBA today with Portland, Miami, and Dallas. Sure. All right, we'll move into the NHL. We have 5 games on the card. We're going to kick it on off here with the Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Ottawa Senators. We have the Sens minus 200 road favorites with a total of 6 in this one here. And wow, this line's gone way up. It's now 235. And that's because it's Arvid Soderblom and it's not Spencer Knight. And actually, kind of an interesting track history. Even through this team being terrible, the Blackhawks have won 9 of the last 10 matchups against the Ottawa Senators. That's kind of interesting there. Chicago off of back-to-back wins, so they're playing pretty well right now. A 6-3 win over Anaheim, a 5-1 win over LA. So they're coming in off of 2 solid wins. However, they were badly outplayed in that game against LA, 42-19 shots on goal. We have Ottawa coming in off of that shootout loss. They've really struggled as of late. I do not trust them laying this number on the road. And at this number, I would only look towards the Blackhawks in this game. The only thing is, this Blackhawks team is really tough to trust. And they're on a 2-game win streak, though. So they have been playing some much better hockey as of late. They played Vegas close on the 27th. It was a 7-5 loss for them there. So this is a Blackhawks team that's been playing close competitive hockey. So it would be Blackhawks or no bet for me in this game. Just not a game I'm going to get involved with, though. I feel like there's better spots on the card than trying to go after Ottawa as a minus 235 favorite or trying to take a shot with Chicago. But at this number, can only look at the Blackhawks at plus 190. Piston smash. Let's go. Pass. Fair. Over 6. Plus 1.5. Minus 134 for the Blackhawks. Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing minus 130 over on ESPN Bet. That's not a terrible look. I don't like puck lines. If I'm going to take a puck line, it's going to be a plus 2 or a plus 2.5. Just because I don't want to lose a puck line play because of an empty net, really. And if I want to lose that, I'm going to take a shot for them to win the game outright. We'll move on, though, to the next matchup here. We have the Washington Capitals and the New York Rangers. We have the Capitals around minus 125 road favorites, total of 6 in this game. And this is a tricky game for me. We have the Rangers coming in off of yet another win. They've now won 4 of their last 5 games. They took care of business against the Islanders in their last game. But this game just feels like one of those where the Rangers feel like getting away with playing down because they were without Adam Fox. They traded away Lindgren. So they're still without their top 2 defensemen. They will be without Lindgren. So it would be interesting to see who really fills in once Fox comes back on that first defense pairing. Their defense pairings right now are Will Borgen, Keandre Miller, with Schneider and Vakanainen and Jones and DeHaan. So this is a poor blue line for the New York Rangers, and I would like to fade the Rangers. And I truly believe that the results we've been seeing from the Rangers lately are a little too good to be true. Also, they've played not great teams, which has allowed them to take not look like they've missed a step, missing these players. a 4-0 win against the Islanders, a 4-0 win against Nashville, a 5-1 win against the Isles, a 5-3 win against Pittsburgh. The one time they played a playoff caliber team, they lost to Toronto. I think we see the same here on this one. Washington coming in, snapping their 3-game losing streak in their last game. I don't back the Capitals often. I think this is a spot to back the Capitals here. They are off of a shootout win, but they had a day off, and this is the third game in 4 nights for the Rangers. Granted, they had a day off yesterday, and they remain at home after being at home the last 3 games. But this is a third game in 4 nights for them. This is also a 4th game in 6 nights for them. So it's been a lot of hockey for the Rangers as of late. I don't back the Capitals often, but I'll grab the -120 here with Washington in this game to go into Madison Square Garden and take care of business. And maybe I'll look towards if this is a playoff matchup. Well, this is very well be a playoff matchup. Reverse of last year where the Capitals were the 8th seed and the Rangers were the President's Trophy winner. I could see it being flipped this year. And the Rangers still getting the same result with the win in that playoff series. But in this game, at this moment, I'm going to take the Capitals here at -120. Let's go. Go Rags go. Money line and reg. Caps puck line. Well, will Nick bet? Nick hates the Caps and the Rags. Fair. Capitals team total over 3.5. Don't hate it. McMichael point. Gasp. Yeah. Protus point. Ovi goal and Dylan Strome assist. And Wilson anytime goal. All right. We'll move on. This is a game that I kind of had circled a little bit. We have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Golden Knights around -150, -160 favorites in this game here. We have these two teams. We have Vegas coming in on a couple days off. Their last game was on March the 2nd. They won 2-0 against the New Jersey Devils. Since the Four Nations break, they've come back and they've won 3 of their 4 games. Their only loss was a 5-2 loss against the LA Kings. They beat the Blackhawks 7-5. They beat the Canucks 3-1 as well. On the flip side, we have Toronto coming in off of a shootout loss in their last game. It was a tough spot for them. It was a 3rd game in 4 nights. But now we're talking about a 4th game in 6 nights for them and travel because they played it was a second half of a back-to-back, a 3rd game in 4 nights, that game against San Jose, which is why I didn't like them in that matchup. I don't like them in this matchup either because I think this is a spot where Vegas can take control over this game and win this game handily. And I'm seeing +170 on a puck line, -155 money line on DraftKings. I'm going to be on the Vegas Golden Knights on the -1 line here in this game. And I think this is a bad spot for Toronto. Now their next game is in Colorado, so this could be a little bit of a tricky time for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And they are without, I believe they're still without Tanev, which I think is going to hurt them long term. And this is a Vegas team that I'm going to look for them to continue to play well. They've played well out of the break. I believe they've outshot their opponent in every single game other than the 2-0 win against New Jersey, where they were outshot by 1. And this is a Maple Leafs team that not only are they coming in on a tough spot like that, it would be a 4th game in 6 nights. Their off day was travel to Vegas from Toronto, so that's not fun there. And their last 2 games needed extra time. A shootout game against San Jose, an overtime game against Pittsburgh. I think this is a spot where Vegas comes in, takes care of business, a workmanlike home win for them. I'm on the Vegas Golden Knights -1 at +106 in this game. I think they take care of business in this one. And the fatigue catches up to the Maple Leafs. See, Vegas puck line, 100% agree. Money line for the Leafs. Yeah. Over 6 -115, Toronto, Vegas. The Leafs team total over 3.5 +160. Matthew Nyes over 1.5 at +478. I disagree with that wholeheartedly, but that's the fun of it, is disagreeing. Disagreeing is half the fun of this. But we'll move on to the second to last game on the card. We have the St. Louis Blues taking on the LA Kings. We have the Kings minus 155 favorites with a total of 5.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the matchup here in this one, where we have St. Louis coming in off of a loss. It was a tough spot for them, though. It was the third game in 4 nights. It was the second half of a back-to-back, and they had to travel from St. Louis to Dallas for that game, and they lost 6-3. So that was exactly kind of what we were expecting. They had their 4-game winning streak snapped. Out of the 4 nations, they had picked up 9 of the first 10 points that they could have, and they've kind of slingshotted themselves into playoff contention in the Western Conference. And I grabbed them over on Bet365 a little while ago at 11-1 to make the playoffs. I kind of want to take a look at what that is now. But this will be, and now we have a Kings team struggling though. And I kind of expect them to continue struggling here. Granted, their last 3 losses were on the road. But this is a team that won their first 2 games after the break and lost 4 in a row since. Now they're back after a 3-game road trip. They played 3 games in 4 nights in Dallas, in St. Louis, where it was a 4-1 win for the St. Louis Blues, and in Chicago. Bet365 is currently unavailable. Nice. So I guess we'll look at what DraftKings is offering still for that. If this was not short-term revenge here for potential for the Kings, at this number, I was looking Blues. And I think the Blues continue to play well and continue to fight for that playoff spot. And if the Kings are not careful, they are starting to slip a little bit. This is a big game for the Blues. They are currently 6 points behind the LA Kings, but they're only 3 points behind the Calgary Flames. And that's something to keep in mind as well. They do have the Flames do have 1 game in hand on said Blues, but it's not impossible for the Blues to make the playoffs. They've played themselves into contention again, and they're now plus 550 on DraftKings. I believe when it was 1150, when it was 1100 on Bet365 for the Blues to make the playoffs, it was plus 900 for them on DraftKings. So this dropped $3.50 towards the Blues to make the playoffs. Since I made that bet. So moving up in the world there. But if this was not a short-term revenge spot, this would be Blues money line for me. I'll still be rooting for the Blues, but this is not a game I feel the need to get involved with. All right, let's see. VGK record versus teams from the East isn't good. Fair. I'm curious as to why everyone is on the Blues, though. Yeah, I'm on the money line and reg, but lots of love piques my curiosity because they've been playing really well as of late. And they're a team that I said heading out of the break was bet on. I get it. They've been playing well as of late. That's why there's love for them. Kings puck line, Kings team total over. I can see it over 5.5, and the Kings are coming off of a bad loss as well. So Fiala assist and Holloway anytime goal. Fair. We'll move on though. We have a game that this is an interesting one here. The Canucks are minus 215 home favorites with a total of 5.5. And really all I really want to do is fade this Canucks team. I do. This is another tricky spot though. A spot that I would like to back is a big dog. But the team that I like to fade is coming in off of a bad loss. Seattle or Vancouver coming in off of a 6-3 loss against Seattle. And then back on the 27th in Anaheim, the Ducks took care of business, a 5-2 win for Anaheim in Anaheim against this Vancouver Canucks team. I was on the Ducks in that matchup there. We also have the Ducks coming in on a second half of a back-to-back with an ultra-satisfying win last night, plus 290 against the Edmonton Oilers. Don't look now, but when it comes to playoffs, the Ducks are not dead. And they currently are 6 points behind the Flames with a game in hand on them. And they are still 7 points behind the they are, my bad. They're 9 points behind the Kings. And the Kings have a game in hand. So the Ducks, they'll still need a lot, but they're playing competitive hockey right now, so don't overlook the Ducks. And I could see this as a spot where the Ducks come in and get the win. And I feel like this is a pretty simple spot, a pretty simple strategy. If you like Anaheim, you bet St. Louis as well. If you like the Kings, you bet Vancouver as well. And you play puck lines with those two favorites, or you play both dogs. I don't think you can really pick and choose your dogs here. I think you have to either play Ducks and Blues or none at all, because they're in this basically the same situation. And the Blues with a win and a Vancouver loss would jump them in the standings. It would put St. Louis at 66 and put Vancouver at 65, which would make it interesting. And I do have Vancouver at plus 170 to miss the playoffs. I kind of want to take a look what that is now. It's now minus 140 to make plus 120 to miss the playoffs. So we're looking a lot better there with our Vancouver to miss the playoffs ticket there too. So I will gladly just sit back and root for my futures here in this one. But if I were to be betting, I would take both dogs late here in this one. I would take a shot with the Ducks. I would take a shot with the Blues, but not games I'm going to bet personally. But I will sit back and cheer on my futures for them. Got you. Ducks plus 191. Quack, quack. Yeah, it's the only way I could look in this game. Ducks team total over. Jackson Lacombe over 1.5 points at plus 498. Not bad. Leo Carlson at plus 519. The LA Kings are way better at home than on the road. Yes. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, that's definitely true, though, too. But that is everything for today's card. If you guys have not already, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified each and every time we are live here at ESB, which is every single morning, anywhere between 10 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Earle Sports Bet Show. But that's going to just about wrap it up for this one. I want to thank you guys as always for watching. We'll catch you guys same time, same place tomorrow for another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. Good luck, everyone.